Mindustry is a tower defense and factory building game with elements of RTS on the side. My goal for this video will be to capture every sector on the planet. How will I do that? The answer is simple: violence. The first sector, Ground Zero, is an easy introductory sector where you learn to mine copper and lead using drills. You also gain access to some pretty crappy turrets that you can use for defense. Since this is the first sector, you don't need to make much of a defense in order to survive, so most of my time here is spent mining copper, lead, some more copper, some more lead, and some more copper. I'm able to capture this sector pretty easily just by spamming a bunch of turrets. Normally, you would capture Frozen Forest next, but there is a much better alternative. Sector 175, next to Ground Zero. This sector contains sand and coal, which can be turned into power, graphite, and silicon. These resources are essential to research new turrets and walls for defense. Now I'm able to capture Frozen Forest very easily just by spamming a bunch of laser turrets. After capturing the sector, I used the leftover coal to make more graphite for research.
Oh my god, bro. Oh, hell.
The craters introduces us to a new resource, metaglass. This sector is not great though, because the resource patches are very small, and there's this big freaking puddle in the way. Because the coal patches on the sector are very small, I'm forced to turn all of the coal into power generation to power laser turrets. This is the first sector to have a boss fight at the end, but due to some new walls and spamming the crap out of this one turret, the boss dies pretty quickly. This sector is pretty annoying to build on because of all the walls everywhere. I set up some copper, some graphite, and some lead, and built a pretty robust defense using some new artillery turrets. What this sector does do is give us access to the unit constructor, which when supplied with resources, allows us to create our own units, starting with these mining drones here. Before moving on to the next sector, I do some maintenance on 175, making sure all factories are running at maximum efficiency. Over an hour later, I finally have a respectable amount of each resource. Much like the previous sector, Stained Mountains is pretty annoying to build on because of the terrain, so I end up just spamming laser turrets and calling it a day. Fungal Pass is an attack sector, which means the enemies already have a base established here, and it's our job to take them out. Luckily, by capturing Stained Mountains, I was able to unlock the Tier 2 unit constructor, and I'm using it to make pulsars, which are able to heal each other and shoot more than one target at once using their electricity cannons. Using the pulsars and some other Tier 2 units, this sector goes down pretty quickly. Overgrowth is another attack sector, similar to Fungal Pass, but the enemy base here is much more reinforced, with walls that I haven't even unlocked yet. We will need something stronger to take this one down. Fortunately, there is something we can do. Certain resources have different properties, and back at 175, I have been mass producing the most explosive resource in the game, fittingly named Blast Compound. Most units have the capacity to carry resources, with their effects being released upon their death. I think you see where this is going. I fill up a bunch of units with blast compound and launch them into the enemy core at full speed.